And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, so that they may take the first fruits to me. You shall accept these from every man who offers of his own accord. Now these are the things that you must accept: gold and silver and brass, hyacinth and purple, and twice-dyed scarlet, and fine linen, the hair of goats, and the skins of rams, dyed red, and skins of violet, and setim wood, oil to prepare lights, aromatics as ointments, and sweet-smelling incense, onyx stones and gems to adorn the ephod, as well as the breastplate. And they shall make a sanctuary for me, and I will live in their midst, according to exact likeness of the tabernacle, and all of the vessels for its rituals, that I will reveal to you, so shall you make it. Join together an ark of setim wood, whose length shall hold 2 1/2 cubits, the width 1 1/2 cubits, the height likewise 1 1/2 cubits, and you shall overlay it with the finest gold, inside and out. And over it you shall fashion a gold crown all around, and 4 gold rings, which you shall set into the 4 corners of the ark. Let 2 rings be on one side, and 2 on the other. Likewise, you shall make bars of setim wood, and cover them with gold. And you shall put them through the rings that are in the sides of the ark, so that it may be carried on them. These must always be in the rings, neither shall they ever be drawn out of them. And you shall place the testimony which I will give to you in the ark. You shall also make a propitiatory of the finest gold. Its length shall hold 2 1/2 cubits, and the width 1 1/2 cubits. Likewise, you shall make 2 cherubim of formed gold on both sides of the oracle. Let 1 cherub be on the one side, and the other be on the other, and let them cover both sides of the propitiatory, spreading their wings and covering the oracle, and let them look out toward one another, their faces being turned toward the propitiatory, with which the ark is to be covered, in which you will place the testimony that I will give to you. From there I will warn you and speak to you above the propitiatory, and from the middle of the 2 cherubim, which will be over the ark of the testimony, about everything that I will command of the sons of Israel through you. You shall also make a table of setim wood, having 2 cubits of length, and 1 cubit in width, and 1 cubit and 1/2 cubits in height. And you shall overlay it with the purest gold, and you shall make it with a gold lip all around, and for the lip itself an engraved crown, 4 fingers high, and above it another little gold crown. Likewise, you shall prepare 4 gold rings, and set them in the 4 corners of the same table, over each foot. Under the crown there shall be gold rings, so that the bars may be put through them, and the table may be carried. Likewise, the bars themselves you shall make of setim wood, and surround them with gold to lift up the table. You shall also prepare small cups, as well as bowls, censers, and measuring cups, with which the libations shall be offered, out of the purest gold. And you shall place upon the table the bread of the presence, in my sight always. You shall also make a lampstand, formed from the finest gold, along with its stem and arms, its bowl and little spheres, as well as the lilies proceeding from it. 6 branches shall go out from the sides, 3 out of one side and 3 out of the other. 3 bowls, the size of nuts, shall be on each branch, and a little sphere with it, and a lily. And 3 similar bowls, in the likeness of nuts, shall be on the other branch, and a little sphere with it, and a lily. This shall be the form of the 6 branches which are to proceed from the stem. Then in the lampstand itself there shall be 4 bowls, the size of nuts, and each with little spheres and lilies. Little spheres under 2 branches in 3 places, which together make 6, shall proceed from one of the stems. Thus both the little spheres and the branches shall be made out of the same thing, entirely formed from the purest gold. You shall also make 7 lamps, and you shall place them upon the lampstand, so that they may give light in every direction. Likewise, the candles' snuffers, and the place where the candles will be extinguished, shall be made from the purest gold. The entire weight of the candlestick, with all its parts, shall hold 1 talent of the purest gold. Observe, and then make it according to the example that was shown to you on the mountain. Truly, thus shall you make the tabernacle. You shall make 10 curtains of fine twisted linen, and hyacinth as well as purple, and twice dyed scarlet, with diverse embroidery. The length of 1 curtain shall have 28 cubits. The width shall be 4 cubits. The entire set of curtains shall be of 1 measure. 5 curtains shall be joined to one another, and the other 5 shall be similarly coupled together. You shall make loops of hyacinth on the sides at the edges of the curtains, so that they will be able to be joined to one another. A curtain shall have 50 loops on each of 2 sides, inserted in such a manner that loop may come against loop, and one can be fitted to the other. You shall also make 50 rings of gold, with which the veils of the curtains are to be joined, so that it shall be 1 tabernacle. You shall also make 11 haircloth canopies to cover the roof of the tabernacle. The length of 1 canopy shall hold 30 cubits, and the width 4. The measure of all the canopies shall be equal. 5 of these you shall join by themselves, and 6 of these you shall couple to one another, in such a manner as to double the 6th canopy at the front of the roof. You shall also make 50 loops along the edge of 1 canopy, so that it may be able to be joined with the other, and 50 loops along the edge of the other canopy, so that it may be coupled with the other. You shall also make 50 brass buckles, with which the loops may be joined, so that there may be 1 covering out of all. Then what will be left over of the canopies which are prepared for the roof, that is, 1 canopy which is in excess, from half of it you shall cover the back of the tabernacle, and 1 cubit will hang down on one side, and another on the other side, which is more than the length of the curtains, protecting both sides of the tabernacle. You shall also make another covering for the roof from the skins of rams, dyed red, and above that again, another covering of violet-colored skins. You shall also make the standing panels of the tabernacle from setim wood. Of these, each shall have 10 cubits in length, and in width 1 1/2. At the sides of the panels there shall be made 2 dovetails, by which 1 panel may be connected to another panel, and in this way all the panels shall be prepared. Of these, 20 shall be at the meridian, which lies toward the south. For these you shall cast 40 bases of silver, so that 2 bases will lie under each panel at its 2 corners. Likewise, at the second side of the tabernacle, which lies to the north, there shall be 20 panels, having 40 bases of silver. 2 bases shall support each panel. Truly, toward the western part of the tabernacle, you shall make 6 panels, and again another 2, which will be raised at the corners behind the back of the tabernacle. And these shall be joined together from bottom to top, and one joint shall retain them all. Likewise, 2 of the panels, which will be set at the corners, shall be served by similar joints, and together these will be 8 panels, and their bases of silver 16, counting 2 bases for each panel. You shall also make 5 bars of setim wood to connect the panels on one side of the tabernacle, and 5 others on the other side, and the same number toward the western part. These shall be set along the middle of the panels, from one end all the way to the other end. Likewise, the panels themselves you shall overlay with gold, and you shall establish rings of gold in them, by which the bars of the panels may be connected. These you shall cover with layers of gold, and you shall raise the tabernacle according to the example which was shown to you on the mountain. You shall also make a veil of hyacinth and purple and twice-dyed scarlet and fine twisted linen, wrought with a diversity of continuous and beautiful embroidery, and you shall suspend it before 4 columns of setim wood, which themselves certainly shall be overlaid with gold, and have heads of gold, but bases of silver. Then the veil shall be inserted through the rings. Beyond the veil you shall place the ark of the testimony, where both the sanctuary and the sanctuary of sanctuaries shall be divided. And you shall place the propitiatory over the ark of the testimony in the Holy of Holies, and the table shall be outside the veil, and opposite the table shall be the lampstand in the meridian of the tabernacle. For the table shall stand at the north side. You shall also make a tent at the entrance of the tabernacle from hyacinth, and purple, and twice-dyed scarlet, and fine twisted linen, wrought with embroidery. And you shall overlay with gold 5 columns of setim wood, over which the tent shall be drawn. The heads of these shall be of gold, and the bases of brass. You shall also make an altar of setim wood, which will have 5 cubits in length, and the same in width, that is, 4 equal sides, and 3 cubits in height. Now there shall be horns at the 4 corners of it, and you shall cover it with brass, and you shall make for its uses pans to receive the ashes, and tongs as well as small hooks, and receptacles for fire. You shall fabricate all of its vessels from brass, along with a grating of brass in the manner of a net. At its 4 corners there shall be 4 rings of brass, which you shall place under the base of the altar, and the grating will extend even to the middle of the altar. You shall also make for the altar 2 bars of setim wood, which you shall cover with layers of brass, and you shall lead them through the rings, and they will be on both sides of the altar to carry it. You shall not make it solid, but empty and hollow at the interior, just as it was shown to you on the mountain. You shall also make the atrium of the tabernacle, at the southern part of which, opposite the meridian, there shall be hangings of fine twisted linen, one side extending for 100 cubits in length, and you shall make 20 columns with the same number of bases of brass, the heads of which, with their engravings, shall be made of silver. In like manner also, throughout the length of the north side, there shall be hangings of 100 cubits, and 20 columns, and the same number of bases of brass, and their heads with their engravings of silver. Yet truly along the width of the atrium that looks out toward the west, there shall be hangings of 50 cubits and 10 columns, and the same number of bases. Likewise, along the width of the atrium that looks out toward the east, there shall be 50 cubits, along which there shall be assigned hangings of 15 cubits for one side, and 3 columns, and the same number of bases. And along the other side, there shall be hangings occupying 15 cubits, with 3 columns, and the same number of bases. Yet truly, at the entrance of the atrium, there shall be made a hanging of 20 cubits, of hyacinth and purple, and twice-dyed scarlet, and fine twisted linen, wrought with embroidery. It shall have 4 columns, with the same number of bases. All the columns surrounding the atrium shall be clothed with layers of silver, with silver heads, and with bases of brass. In length, the atrium shall occupy 100 cubits, in width 50. The height shall be of 5 cubits, and it shall be made of fine twisted linen, and it shall have bases of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, for all uses and ceremonies, even to the tent pegs for its atrium, you shall make of brass. Instruct the sons of Israel, so that they may bring you the purest oil of the olive trees, crushed with a pestle, so that a lamp may always burn in the tabernacle of the testimony, outside of the veil that enshrouds the testimony. And Aaron and his sons shall arrange it, so that it may give light in the presence of the Lord until morning. This shall be a perpetual observance among the sons of Israel throughout their successions. Also, join to yourself your brother Aaron, with his sons from the midst of the sons of Israel, so that they may exercise the priesthood for me, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And you shall make a holy vestment for Aaron, your brother, with glory and elegance. And you shall speak to all the wise of heart, whom I have filled with the spirit of prudence, so that they may make the vestments of Aaron, in which, having been sanctified, he may minister to me. Now these shall be the vestments that they shall make: a breastplate and an ephod, a tunic and a close-fit linen garment, a headdress and a wide belt. They shall make the holy vestments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so that they may exercise the priesthood for me. And they shall receive gold and hyacinth and purple and twice-dyed scarlet and fine linen. Then they shall make the ephod of gold and hyacinth and purple and twice-dyed scarlet and fine twisted linen, wrought with diverse colors. It shall have 2 edges joined at the top on both sides, so that they may respond as one. Likewise, the weaving and all the detail work shall be of gold, and hyacinth, and purple, and twice-dyed scarlet, and fine twisted linen. And you shall take 2 onyx stones, and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel, 6 names on one stone, and the remaining 6 on the other, according to the order of their birth. By the work of a sculptor and the skill of a jeweler, you shall engrave them with the names of the sons of Israel, enclosed and encompassed with gold, and you shall place them on both sides of the ephod as a memorial to the sons of Israel. And Aaron shall carry their names before the Lord upon both shoulders as a remembrance. You shall also make hooks of gold and 2 little chains of the purest gold. linked to one another, which you shall insert into the hooks. Likewise, you shall make the breastplate of judgment, wrought with diverse colors, according to the weaving of the ephod, of gold, hyacinth, and purple, and twice-dyed scarlet, and fine twisted linen. It shall have 4 corners, and be doubled. It shall have the measure of the palm of a hand, both in length and in width. And you shall set within it 4 rows of stones. In the first row there shall be a sardius stone, and a topaz, and an emerald. In the second there shall be a garnet, a sapphire, and a jasper. In the third there shall be a zircon, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth there shall be a chrysolite, an onyx, and a beryl. They shall be set in gold by their rows. And these shall have the names of the sons of Israel. With 12 names shall they be engraved, each stone with 1 name from the 12 tribes. You shall make chains of the purest gold, linked one to another, on the breastplate, and 2 rings of gold, which you shall place at both ends of the breastplate. And the golden chains you shall join to the rings, which are at its edges. And the ends of the chains themselves you shall couple with 2 hooks on both sides of the ephod, which looks toward the breastplate. You shall also make 2 rings of gold, which you shall place at the ends of the breastplate, at the borders which are away from the region of the ephod, and which look toward its back. And then you shall also make 2 other rings of gold, which are to be suspended on both sides at the bottom of the ephod, which looks out opposite the face of the lower juncture, so that the breastplate can be fitted to the ephod. And it shall be drawn tight to the rings of the breastplate by the rings of the ephod with a hyacinth band, so that the well-constructed juncture will remain in place, and the breastplate and the ephod will not be able to be separated from one another. And Aaron shall carry the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate of judgment upon his chest when he enters into the sanctuary, as a memorial in the presence of the Lord in eternity. Then you shall place in the breastplate of judgment doctrine and truth, which shall then be upon Aaron's chest when he enters before the Lord. And he shall wear the judgment of the sons of Israel on his chest in the sight of the Lord always. And you shall make the tunic for the ephod entirely of hyacinth, and the head will be above its middle, with a hem woven around it, just as is usually made at the end parts of a garment, so that it may not be easily broken. Yet truly, beneath it, at the base of the same tunic, all around, you shall make something like pomegranates, from hyacinth and purple and twice-dyed scarlet, with little bells set in their midst. So then there shall be a little golden bell and a pomegranate, and again another golden bell and a pomegranate. And Aaron will be vested with it during the office of his ministry, so that the sound may be heard when he enters and exits the sanctuary in the sight of the Lord, and so that he may not die. And you shall make a plate of the purest gold, in which you shall engrave with the skill of a sculptor, holy to the Lord. And you shall fasten it with a band of hyacinth, and it shall be upon the headdress, hanging in front of the high priest. And Aaron shall carry the iniquities of that which the sons of Israel have offered and sanctified in all their gifts and donations. But the plate will always be at his forehead, so that the Lord may be well pleased with them. And you shall draw the tunic tight with fine linen, And you shall make a headdress of fine linen, and a wide belt wrought with embroidery. Furthermore, for the sons of Aaron, you shall prepare linen tunics, and wide belts as well as headdresses, with glory and elegance. And with all these you shall vest your brother Aaron and his sons with him. And you shall consecrate all their hands, and you shall sanctify them, so that they may exercise the priesthood for me. You shall also make linen undergarments, in order to cover the flesh of their nakedness, from the kidneys all the way to the thighs. And Aaron and his sons will use them when they enter the tabernacle of the testimony, and when they approach toward the altar, in order to minister in the sanctuary, lest, being guilty of iniquity, they may die. It shall be a law forever for Aaron, and for his offspring after him. But you shall also do this, so that they may be consecrated to me in the priesthood. Take a calf from the herd, and 2 immaculate rams, and unleavened bread, and a crust without leaven that has been sprinkled with oil, likewise unleavened cakes smeared with oil. You shall make them all from the same wheat flour, and having placed them in baskets, you shall offer them, along with the calf and the 2 rams. And you shall bring forward Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. And when you will have washed the father with his sons in water, you shall clothe Aaron in his vestments, that is, with the linen and the tunic and the ephod and the breastplate, which you shall draw together with the wide belt. And you shall place the headdress on his head, and the holy plate upon the headdress. And you shall pour the oil of unction over his head, and so, by this rite, he shall be consecrated. Likewise, you shall bring forward his sons, and you shall clothe them in the linen tunics, and wrap them with the wide belt. Aaron, certainly, as well as his sons, and you shall impose headdresses upon them, and they shall be priests to me by a perpetual ordinance. After you have initiated their hands, you shall bring forward also the calf in the presence of the tabernacle of the testimony, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands upon its head, and you shall sacrifice it in the sight of the Lord, beside the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. And taking some of the blood of the calf, you shall place it upon the horns of the altar with your finger. But the remainder of the blood you shall pour next to its base, and you shall take all the fat which covers its intestines, and the mesh of the liver, as well as the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, and you shall offer them as a burnt offering upon the altar. Yet truly the flesh of the calf, and the hide, and the dung, you shall burn outside, beyond the camp, because it is for sin. Likewise, you shall take 1 ram, and upon its head Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands. And when you will have sacrificed it, you shall take from its blood and pour it around the altar. Then you shall cut the ram into pieces, and having washed its intestines and feet, you shall place these upon the cut-up flesh and upon its head, and you shall offer the entire ram as a burnt offering upon the altar. It is an oblation to the Lord, a most sweet odor of the victim of the Lord. Likewise, you shall take the other ram, upon whose head Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands, and when you will have immolated it, you shall take of its blood, and place it on the tip of the right ear of Aaron and his sons, and on the thumbs and big toes of their right hand and right foot, and you shall pour the blood upon the altar all around. And when you have taken from the blood that is on the altar, and from the oil of unction, you shall sprinkle Aaron and his vestment, his sons and their vestments. And after they and their vestments have been consecrated, you shall take the fat of the ram and the rump and the lard that covers the internal organs, and the mesh of the liver, and the 2 kidneys along with the fat that is on them, and the right shoulder, because it is the ram of consecration, and 1 turn of bread, a crust sprinkled with oil, and a cake from the basket of unleavened bread, which was placed in the sight of the Lord. And you shall place all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons, and you shall sanctify them, lifting them up in the sight of the Lord. And you shall take all these things from their hands, and burn them upon the altar as a holocaust, as a most sweet odor in the sight of the Lord, because it is his oblation. Likewise, you shall take the chest of the ram with which Aaron was initiated, and you shall sanctify it, lifting it up in the sight of the Lord, and it will fall to your share. And you shall sanctify both the consecrated chest and the shoulder that you separated from the ram, with which Aaron was initiated with his sons, and these will fall to the share of Aaron and his sons, as a perpetual oath by the sons of Israel. For these are the greatest and the first of their victims of peace, which they offer to the Lord. But the holy vestment which Aaron shall use, his sons shall possess after him, so that they may be anointed in it, and their hands may be consecrated. For 7 days, he who is high priest in his place, and who enters the tabernacle of the testimony to minister in the sanctuary, shall use it. But you shall take the ram of consecration and cook its flesh in the holy place, and Aaron and his sons shall feed on it. Likewise, the loaves which are in the basket, they shall consume in the vestibule of the tabernacle of the testimony, so that it may be an appeasing sacrifice, and so that the hands of those who offer may be sanctified. A stranger shall not eat from these, for they are holy. And what may remain until morning of the consecrated flesh or of the bread, you shall burn these remnants with fire. These shall not be eaten, because they have been sanctified. All that I have instructed you concerning Aaron and his sons, you shall do. For 7 days shall you consecrate their hands, and you shall offer a calf for sin on each day as an atonement. And you shall cleanse the altar when you will have immolated the victim of expiation, and you shall anoint it for sanctification. For 7 days you shall expiate and sanctify the altar, and it shall be the Holy of Holies. All those who will touch it must be sanctified. This is what you shall acquire for the altar: 2 one-year-old lambs, each day continually, 1 lamb in the morning, and the other in the evening. For the 1 lamb, a 10th part of fine flour sprinkled with crushed oil, which shall have the measure of the 4th part of a hin, and wine for a libation, of the same measure. Truly, the other lamb you shall offer in the evening, according to the ritual of the morning oblation, and according to what we have said, as an odor of sweetness. It is a sacrifice to the Lord, by a perpetual oblation among your generations, at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony before the Lord, where I resolve to speak to you. And there I will instruct the sons of Israel, and the altar shall be sanctified by my glory. I will also sanctify the tabernacle of the testimony with the altar, and Aaron with his sons, to exercise the priesthood for me. And I will live in the midst of the sons of Israel, and I will be their God. And they shall know that I am the Lord their God, who led them away from the land of Egypt, so that I might dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. You shall also make an altar for the burning of incense from setim wood, having 1 cubit in length and another in width, that is, 4 equal sides and 2 cubits in height. Horns shall proceed from the same. And you shall clothe it with the purest gold, both its grating and the walls around it, and also the horns. And you shall make for it a crown of gold in a circle, and 2 gold rings under the crown on each side, so that the bars may be set in them, and the altar may be carried. Also, you shall make its bars of setim wood, and you shall overlay them with gold. And you shall set the altar opposite the veil, which hangs in front of the ark of the testimony, before the propitiatory with which the testimony is covered, where I will speak to you. And Aaron shall burn incense upon it, a sweet fragrance, in the morning. When he lights the lamps, he shall burn it. And when he assembles them in the evening, he shall burn an everlasting incense before the Lord throughout your generations. You shall not offer upon it incense of another composition, nor an oblation, nor a victim. Neither shall you offer libations. And Aaron shall pray over its horns once a year with the blood of what was offered for sin. And he shall make atonement over it in your generations. It shall be the Holy of Holies to the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, When you have taken the sum of the sons of Israel, according to their number, each shall give a price for their souls to the Lord, and there will be no scourge among them, when they will be reviewed. Then all those who pass shall give by name 1/2 shekel, according to the measure at the temple. A shekel has 20 obols. The half part of a shekel shall be offered to the Lord. He who has been numbered from 20 years and above shall give the price. The rich shall not add to the half shekel, and the poor shall diminish nothing. And the money received, which was collected from the sons of Israel, you shall deliver for the uses of the tabernacle of the testimony, so that it may be a memorial of them before the Lord, and he may act favorably toward their souls. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, You shall also make a bronze washtub with its base to wash in, and you shall place it between the tabernacle of the testimony and the altar. And when water has been added, Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and feet in it, when they enter the tabernacle of the testimony, and when they approach to the altar so as to offer incense to the Lord upon it. Otherwise they may die. This shall be an everlasting law to him and to his offspring throughout their successions. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take for yourself aromatics of the first and best myrrh, 500 shekels, and of cinnamon half as much, that is, 250 shekels, of sweet flags similarly 250, but of cassia 500 shekels by the weight of the sanctuary, and of the oil of olives the measure of a hin. And you shall make the holy oil of unction, an ointment composed with the skills of a perfumer. And with it you shall anoint the tabernacle of the testimony, and the ark of the testament, and the table with its vessels, and the lampstand and its utensils, the altars of incense and of holocaust, and all the items that pertain to their rituals, and you shall sanctify everything, and they shall be the holy of holies. He who will touch them must be sanctified. You shall anoint Aaron and his sons, and you shall sanctify them, so that they may exercise the priesthood for me. Likewise, you shall say to the sons of Israel, this oil of unction will be holy to me throughout your generations. The flesh of man shall not be anointed from it, and you shall not make any similar compound, for it has been sanctified, and it shall be holy to you. Whatever man will have composed such a thing, and have given it to a stranger, he shall be exterminated from his people. And the Lord said to Moses, take to yourself aromatics, stacte and onycha, galbanum of sweet odor, and the clearest frankincense. All these shall be of equal weight, and you shall make incense composed with the skills of a perfumer, diligently mixed and pure, and most worthy of sanctification. And when you have crushed all these into a very fine powder, you shall place some of it before the tabernacle of the testimony, in the place where I will appear to you. The Holy of Holies shall this incense be to you. You shall not make such a compound for your own uses, because it is holy to the Lord. Whatever man will have made anything similar, so as to thoroughly enjoy its smell, he shall perish from his people. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, behold, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, from the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom and understanding and knowledge in every craft, in order to design whatever must be fabricated from gold and silver and brass, from marble and precious stones and various woods. And I have given to him, as his associate, Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, from the tribe of Dan. And I have placed wisdom in the heart of every artisan, so that they may make everything as I have instructed you, the tabernacle of the covenant, and the ark of the testimony, and the propitiatory which is over it, and all the vessels of the tabernacle, and the table and its vessels, the most pure lampstand with its vessels, and the altars of incense and of holocaust, and all their vessels, the washtub with its base, the holy vestments for the ministry of Aaron the priest, and for his sons, so that they may execute their office of sacred rites, the oil of unction, and the incense of aromatics in the sanctuary. All the things that I have instructed you, they shall make. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, see that you keep my Sabbath, for it is a sign between me and you among your generations, so that you may know that I am the Lord, who sanctifies you. Keep my Sabbath, for it is holy to you. Whoever will have polluted it shall die a death. Whoever will have done any work in it, his soul shall perish from the midst of his people. For 6 days you shall do work. On the 7th day it is the Sabbath, a rest sanctified by the Lord. All who will have done work on this day shall die. Let the sons of Israel keep the Sabbath, and let them celebrate it throughout their generations. It is an everlasting covenant between me and the sons of Israel, and a perpetual sign. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and in the 7th he ceased from work. And the Lord, having completed speaking in this way on Mount Sinai, gave to Moses 2 stone tablets of testimony, written with the finger of God.